Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 51 Years of Chess. This is Robert Radford. Now, I hope you're all having a great time with this heat wave we're having here in England, probably in Europe as well. I'm hoping that wherever you are, you're having a great time. So, I'm going to bring you another game now. My opponent is Diogo Cerqueria from Brazil, 21 years of age. His rating is 1496 in this particular game with me, and he's a Arena Federation Master. And I'm around 16, 17 in this game. I had a drop off a while ago, and I'm gradually getting back up again. Diogo was white, and he played to start with e4. I responded with c6, so I'm going to play a Caracan defense, which is a very sturdy, sort of solid defense. I don't know this guy, never played him before, but if he's a Federation Master, then he's good. So he played knight c3, and I played d5, which is a normal continuation. He played the knight out, so we've got a two knights Caracan situation here. And I played e6, so I've kept it closed. I want to play like this because I've been playing this way a bit lately, and I've been getting some good results. Because you can often convert from a Caracan into a French without playing the French to start with, and it can be really advantageous when you've done it that way. So he's played d4. Yeah, I played knight d7. This is part of the transposition of the opening. Bishop d3. Now he's obviously not going to push this pawn on like I was hoping he was, the e4 pawn. But that's okay, because I can go d takes e and knight takes e. So I've got the Caracan structure set up with the pawns and so on. And now I'm going to continue with my development, which is knight on g to f6. Now I thought he would go bishop g5, pinning the knight, but he never. He's played it to bishop e3. So he's keeping it all pretty compact and tight if you look at his four minor pieces. So he's ahead of me on development here. Bishop e7, only just. And he's gone with his knight back to g3. So now I've played queen c7. I'm quite happy with this. There's nothing really happening at the moment. It doesn't, not in this opening. It takes a while before things starts heating up. So he castled, and I played b6 because I have to make a place for my bishop on b7 so I can castle and connect my rooks, and then we'll get into the game. So he played rook e1. He's virtually completed his development now. He hasn't connected his rook yet by moving his queen, but he probably will in a minute. So I played bishop b7. So I'm very, very happy. This is a well-known line. It's been played by grandmasters and for years and years and stuff. It's probably old, I don't know, but now he's played a4. So he's grabbing space on the queen side. He's probably looking to play a5 and then pawn takes, rook takes, bishop takes, and really upset things over on that side. So I'm not going to allow that. I'm just playing a5 to stop his pawn pushing any further. So he's brought his knight up into e5. This is the first real kind of encounter that we're about to begin on. I could play knight into d5 and avoid taking off the knights, but the knight on d7 is not the best placed piece, so I played knight takes on e5, and he's taking the pawn, and then I brought the other knight back to d7 so that I'm attacking it twice with queen and knight, and he's not defending it at all. So he's brought his queen out to g4. So why has he done this? Apart from attacking the g pawn on g7, if I castle, he can play bishop h6, and I can only play g6 to prevent the mate, and then he's got he wins the rook for the bishop on f8, so it'd be a material plus for him. So I could go knight takes pawn on e5, but he even got bishop takes pawn on b6, and then if queen takes b6, rook takes e5. I think he gets better game. He would. I don't like the pawns being isolated on the a pawn and the c pawn. My a and c pawns would be isolated, and I don't like that. I don't want to go that way. So what do? So I played g6. I know it looks a bit hairy around my king, but I've got a black squared bishop, and so I can meet any chances of trying to get in with the bishop. So he's played f4. So he's pushing a bit now. He wants to make a go of this. So I played h5 off the g4 square, and off of the g file, I'll feel a lot happier. So he's gone back to e2. So I could push on e5, but that after he moves a knight into e4, he can even go back then with queen to g4. I don't want him to do that. So I've played now c5. So I'm making a bit of, taking a bit of ground in the middle, gaining some space, and I've also opened up my bishop on b7. If necessary, I might have to take the knight if it goes into e4, because that knight could go to g6 or d6 later. So he's building up a good position. And yeah, he's gone in with the knight. So I've got to answer this question now. Should I take the knight? Probably yes, I should. Then after he bishop takes, I could play something like rook to d8. But he gets a really nice diagonal, h1 a8 diagonal, and it's also bearing down on that g6 pawn. So I don't really want to swap. So I move my queen up the square, and then after he's played maybe knight to f6 check, knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, I'm threatening g2 with mate, even though he's covering it at the moment with his queen. So yeah, I need to be careful as well, because if he plays knight g6 and knight takes knight, he's got bishop b5 pinning my queen to my king. So I must try and remember that. So what do I do now? Well, I have to wait and see as he plays knight f6, which is what he did. I can't let that knight stay there. I got to do something about that. So I played knight takes knight. And then he played bishop b5, the very thing I was saying just now to guard against. That's a total mistake. What was I thinking? I'd already seen it, and yeah, I've lost my queen. So I have to do what's best next now. I have to look at the situation with the queens off. How does my situation look? Well, it's lost, should be lost. But with the way my pawns are positioned, and if I can stop him coming through the open file on the d file in the middle with his rooks, then it could be I've got some kind of game and I might survive. So came in knight into d5. I came in knight into d5. He took the queen. I took with the bishop, c6. So my position's not so hard for him to break down now. When you've got rooks, they need to be on open files, and if I can keep them closed, then my minor pieces might prove to be better. c4, this is why he's kicked the knight. He wants the knight out of there, so I played it to b4, which is very nice, because it's covering such great squares like c2 and d3. I like it. And my bishop is very strong on c6. And my other bishop is in a very good defensive role. All I got to do is sort out my castles, and I think I got a chance of surviving. So he's played b3 just to tidy up that there. And I castled queenside because I'm perfectly safe there at the moment. I can't see how he's going to get in there at all. He didn't challenge the rook, which I expected him to do. He played rook to c1. Now, I can only think he did that because he's concerned about me coming into c2 with my knight at some stage. So I came in knight into d3 and capitalized on this inaccuracy that he played. This way now I can gain an exchange of the rook for knight, leaving me with 2 rooks and 2 bishops against the queen, rook and bishop. Still favours him, but not so much that I can't maybe get a draw. So he brought the other rook across, so he's ready to do a swap and then retake the bishop, probably. Right, I played knight takes rook, and yes, he swapped off a rook. So he now only got a queen and a bishop, and I've got a rook and 2 bishops. And look how those bishops are placed. They're perfect. He can't get in down there, even if I move my rook away from the A file. He can't get in down there with his queen. I have control of the D file. I've got a wonderful bishop on c6, and my other bishop's doing a great job defending the e6 square where he'd like to get his bishop or queen, but his bishop is really poor. He can't do anything with it. So it's like I'm playing with a rook and 2 bishops against queen. So if we look at the value of the pieces, 5 for the rook and 3 each for the 2 bishops, that's 11. And also 7 pawns, that's 18. He's got 9 for the queen, 3 for the bishop, that's 12. And 7, 19. So we're even, at least even. So I'm happy with that. So I've moved my rook across. And if he pushes his pawn on, that's right, I take on f5, giving me a bishop in rook coming down onto g2 with an attack. So he's really got to play g3, and then I push the h pawn, and it gets very uncomfortable for him. So he's played h4 to stop that. And I've taken the h4 pawn. This was, I don't know why he did that, it was just, why? It hasn't stopped anything, really. It's just give me a pawn, thank you. So he's gone queen to d3. Again, I don't know what he's doing there, but I've gone back my bishop to e7, and I've got a better position than before now. Bishop d2. So he's probably trying to work out a way of breaking up my triangle of pawns that's in front of my king. Like bishop takes on a5, and then after b takes, the c pawn goes if my bishop is not on that diagonal protecting it. So I'll have to watch for that. So now I've pushed my pawn, and it wouldn't be wise for him to take it, I don't think. So he moved it on and make some space for his queen. He might become a nuisance and start attacking me. But again, I think it's a bad move because I've taken the pawn. And if he pushes his e-pawn on, I don't have to take it. I just simply push my f-pawn on one square, and he still can't get in. Right. Yeah, so that's it. I've shut the position down. He's got nothing there. Now he's attacking that pawn on f5. So I just move my queen across, and now he can't take the pawn on f5, because if he does, he'll lose the bishop on d2. So he's moved his queen to e2, attacking the h pawn. Now again, he can't take it because I'll take the bishop. So that's given me time. It's given me lots of time here to be able to do things. So I've now brought my bishop in to strong square on e4, making it more powerful because I'm not just bearing down on his king side, but now that's what you call a monster bishop in the center of the board. That's cutting down on two diagonals, and it's really, really good for me. I think I might be even more than drawing now. So he brought his king up. I'm not worried about him taking the h pawn because I'm going after the e pawn. It's very important I get that pawn. So he's moved his king's pawn up to g3, and now I've gone into the center. This looks dangerous, but it's not. He can't get at my king. This is why I played bishop into e4. He can't get that d4 square, and the bishop is in the way from checking me. So he's taking the h pawn against his queen and bishop in 5 pawns. Now 4. So I'm very happy now. I'm also attacking the bishop. So when I'm making these moves, I've still got threats after my moves, which is what you got to play. This is how you got to play to get back into games. So he's brought the queen back, and now I brought my rook onto the open file because I don't need to stay on that file at the moment, which is a d file, because he can't get in down there anyway. So he's played queen to e3, h2. Yeah, rook h2 is the threat, so he's played queen to e3, bishop to d5, king now across so that he can try and run, but he can't. The bishop is cutting off that queen side. It's not easy for him. He'd have to go on the back rank here if I drop the rook down to check, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm waiting. So I've played king to h7. Now he's played king to d1. Now I'm checking him, and he's put the bishop back. So that's great. I've got his bishop in a place where it's just blocked and defended, and this is where the strength of my game helps, because he's playing with one piece really, just a queen, and a rook and 2 bishops is more than a match. Now I'm going back to h3, so this would stop him now from moving the bishop and going anywhere with it, because he would drop that g pawn. The g pawn. He would drop the g pawn. So what he's done is played b4. It's a little bit dangerous. This is a good counter attack, because if I take the pawn on b4, he may sack the bishop, and when I retake, he could take the b pawn on b6 with the threat of moving the f pawn on, pinning the bishop. So what do I do? If I don't take that pawn, if I take the pawn with the f pawn, he can take the queen takes b6. So I think the best thing to do is just take it. So I play a takes b4, bishop takes b4. There we go. Sacking the bishop for the 3 pawns, and hoping that he's got a pass pawn that would help him. Pawn takes bishop, queen takes b6. So he's threatening c5 now, pinning the bishop to the queen. What's my situation here? 4 pawns to his 3. Can I give up a bishop if I take that G pawn? Let me see. Rook takes pawn, C5, and then I've got rook D3 check. Yes, rook D3 check, and he moves the king, and then I push my pawn to B3. So that gives me that passed pawn, and he takes the bishop with the pawn, and I take it with my rook, and he takes the B pawn. So he would have queen and 2 pawns against my rook and bishop, and I've got 2 lovely passed pawns on his queen side that look, his king side looks very strong. And with my bishop on E4, he's never going to be able to get a queen and keep it, because I'll be able to knock it off. It's whether then my passed pawns and my rook would be strong enough with my king to win, and I think it would. So I'm taking this pawn. I'm going to do it. So he's played C5, as I said. Rook check, yes. He's moved his king. Now I've decided to move my king out of check instead and let him out the pawn, because I want to move these pawns on his king side as fast as I can. Probably I should have played B3, but I like this move anyway. So he took, as he had to, with the pawn, and then he took the B pawn, and then I was able to push with F4. I can even go on to F3. This is so good. Those 3 pawns are going to be really good. All he's got going for him is his queen, trying to push that pawn, which is never going to become a queen without being lost. So all I got to do is mind where I put my king, and everything will be great. So he's played A5, he's pushing it, and I move my king across to, oh, what have I done? Over. But he didn't take it. He played Queen C5. I don't think he realised that the rook was on pre. And he probably did after he played the move, and probably thought, wow, what have I done? I should have just took the rook. So he's given me a chance again. And I just can't afford to do that again. That was a terrible mistake. So I moved the king back. And he's thinking, why didn't I take that rook? So he's gone queen down to C8 check, king up to E5. I think Diogo would be happy with a draw now, knowing how difficult the position is. So he didn't go back to C5. He played king to E8, king to F5, queen to E7. Perhaps he's hoping I'll leave my castle on and pray again, but I'm not going to do that a second time. So rook to E6. Now this is sneaky, because I'm threatening to move the bishop away and get a check with my rook. So he's got to be careful he doesn't go on a white square where I can move the rook to attack it. So he's moved his queen across to H7 with a check. But that's nice for me, because now I've gone into G4 and he can't check me anywhere. No longer can he check me. He can't move his pawn on to A6, because I'll just take it with a rook. And I'm also attacking his queen with my bishop. So he has to meet this threat. And so he decided he would pin my rook and make me go back. And I think it was at this stage that he was probably thinking, I'll keep trying to check him and get a draw. But unfortunately, that's too late now, because I just checked him and I've got my bishop on F5, and that's game over. I get the queen next move. So he went to f2, rook down to e2. I'm going to get the queen and win the game. He then went to a6, bishop, c6, a7, and then f3, and he resigned. You can see that he can never get a queen, and I'm going to get queens, maybe 2 or 3. So he resigned. So there we are. Lots of mistakes in that game from both of us, at least 2 or 3 each. But I certainly blundered terribly in my rook on pre. But sometimes you make your own luck. It's one of those things. The player either sees it or he doesn't. And in my case, he didn't see it. So I'm very pleased to have won that game. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again pretty soon. So take care, everyone. Bye.